Hi, this is Logan and Steph's project about GMO foods and if they are good or bad. So, the very first question that everyone probably has is what are GMOs and what's the big deal about them? So, what GMOs are is the genetic modification of a plant or organism in order to make it different than before. This is done by changing the DNA. You take the DNA of a different plant and insert it into the DNA of the crop you're trying to modify. Then, what scientists do is, since the DNA is different, they load it into what is called a gene gun and shoot it into the new plant in order to change it. The end result of this process is a crop that is modified and different than before with different genes. GMO foods have both pros and cons. Here are some of the pros of GMO foods. GMO foods often are larger and last much longer than non-GMO foods, as you can see by the diagram drawn by Steph. GMOs are also much more weather resistant, and they save farmers a lot of money by being able to last through harder conditions. They also have built-in insecticides, and this prevents them from needing to spend more money on harsh chemicals. Also, it's better for the environment. GMOs tend to taste better than their non-GMO counterparts. And in a consumer market, many people will choose GMOs over not. GMOs are also very disease resistant, and this also keeps chemicals out of the plants. GMOs also are much more cost effective overall and they produce many more, and it's easier to farm than non-GMO plants. This is good for farmers. Here are some cons of GMOs. Some of the cons to GMO foods is that it leads to bacteria and viruses becoming superbugs, as they are known. This is because GMOs are resistant to these bacteria, and the bacteria must change in order to survive. GMOs also can cause unknown allergies to people because since they're genetically different than the original thing, when someone eats them and they don't know, they could die of an allergic reaction. GMOs also have led to the rise of what they call super weeds, and that is because GMOs are weed resistant, so only the strongest weeds survive, and then they become very hard to kill using traditional herbicides. GMOs also reduce genetic diversity, which is typical in natural environments. This can harm the organisms as a whole. One thing about GMOs and organics is that they're not always labeled in supermarkets, but many people believe that they should be. This leaves it up to the consumer to decide what they want, if they are willing to take the risk with GMOs and the possible benefits, or stick with the organics. Many people prefer to buy organics, but some also prefer to buy the GMOs. People tend to buy organic labeled items in stores, but they also are more expensive. In synopsis, GMOs are easy, quick, and they get bigger yields in crops, and they also holds up in the weather, and they're convenient for many people. The problem with GMOs is they can cause allergies, new diseases, and they lose nutrients as they're grown because of the genetic differences, and they lose biodiversity of the ecosystem. So, do you think GMOs are good or bad? The choice is up to you. We think it can be a little bit of both because they have pros to help some people, but the cons can hurt you. So which do you choose?